Good day, everyone. Today's talk is all about the breast anatomy. The breast consists of mammary gland tissue, which comprises its bulk, fibrous and fatty tissue, blood, lymph vessels, and nerves. The borders of the breast are as follows. The breast extends from the second to the sixth ribs and medially from the sternum and laterally to the mid-axillary line. Again, the borders of the breast superiorly is the second rib, inferiorly the sixth rib, medially the sternum, and laterally the mid-axillary line. The breast is also traditionally divided into four quadrants: an upper outer quadrant, an upper inner quadrant, a lower outer quadrant, and finally a lower inner quadrant. Of note, the upper outer quadrant comprises the bulk of the breast tissue, and for this reason, most breast neoplasms, both benign and malignant, commonly occur in the upper outer quadrant. The breast is comprised of mammary glands, which lie within the superficial fascia. The breast is supported by the suspensory ligaments of Cooper, which are strong fibrous bands that run from the dermis of the skin up to the deep layer of the superficial fascia. The nipple area usually lies at the level of the fourth intercostal space and contains smooth muscle fibers that contract on tactile stimulation, inducing firmness and prominence. Finally, the areola is a ring of pigmented skin around the nipple. The breast receives blood supply from four main arteries. It receives blood from the thoracoacromial artery, the lateral thoracic artery, the internal thoracic artery, and finally the posterior intercostal artery. The venous drainage of the breast is through the axillary vein, eventually draining into the superior vena cava. The mammary gland is a modified sweat gland located in the fatty superficial fascia. It has the axillary tail of Spencer, which is a small part of the mammary gland that extends superolaterally and sometimes through the deep fascia to lie in the axilla or the underarm. The mammary gland is separated from the deep fascia over here, covering the underlying muscles by an area of loose areolar tissue known as the retromammary space. The retromammary space allows the breast some degree of movement over the pectoralis major muscle. The breast has 15 to 20 lobes of glandular tissue known as the alveolar glands. There are around 15 to 20 alveolar glands, which are separated by fibrous septa that radiate from the nipple. Each lobe opens by a lactiferous duct onto the tip of the nipple. Each duct has an enlargement called a lactiferous sinus, which serves as a reservoir for milk during lactation. Finally, lymphatic drainage of the breast is of great importance because of the frequent development of cancer and metastatic spread through the lymphatics. Majority of the lymphatic drainage is towards the axillary nodes. 75% of the lymph drainage is towards the axillary nodes, while the remaining 25% of lymph fluid drains to the parasternal, also known as the internal thoracic nodes. The parasternal or internal thoracic nodes primarily drain lymphatic fluid from the medial quadrants of the breast. Speaking of the axillary nodes are actually subdivided into three levels. Level 1 here is the group of axillary nodes inferior to and lateral to the pectoralis minor, which is this muscle over here. Axillary nodes below or deep to the pectoralis minor comprise axillary lymph node level 2. And finally, lymph nodes which are superior to and medial to the pectoralis minor muscle are the axillary lymph nodes level 3. This is important because cancer usually spreads first to axillary lymph nodes level 1 and 2 before spreading to axillary level 3. For this reason, metastatic spread to axillary level 3 confers a higher stage of cancer as compared to if the cancer was simply in axillary level 1 or 2.